Hello, everybody, and Merry Christmas. Happy holidays from Htown Wheelhouse and On Astros. We're going to talk about Framber Valdez, the new MLB rules, and why MLBPA is not happy about it, the all MLB sleepers for this next year, and is the Astros offense better? Let's talk about it on this edition of Locked On Astros.
Welcome to Locked On Astros, your daily Astros podcast. Here are your hosts, Eric the Man Huysman and Brett Htown Wheelhouse Chancey.
Hey there, everybody, and welcome into another edition of Locked On Astros. I am your host tonight, Htown Wheelhouse. Look, you can find me at Htown Wheelhouse on X, Instagram, and X, Instagram, and TikTok. You can find me at Stros411 on X, Instagram, and Facebook. Always positive, always Stros. You can find the show at Locked On Astros on Apple, Google, Spotify, wherever you get your podcast. It's free and easy to listen to on your way to work, on your way home from work. If you're going out of town on vacation, catch up on Locked On Astros. Become an everydayer and make sure that you make us your team every single day. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Make every moment more right now. New customers get $150 in bonus bets with any winning $5 moneyline bet. That's $150. If your team wins, visit FanDuel.com/lockedon to get started. And if you stay tuned, when I talk about FanDuel later, I'll give you the money line on the Texans and Browns game, a much anticipated game in Houston because another game without CJ Stroud. Case Keenum's going to try to play hero once again. Kyrie Fairbairn as well against a very tough Cleveland Browns defense. So without further ado, let's get into some baseball. I will make a programming note here. If you go and listen to the audio today, you will hear my version after this is uploaded. You'll hear Eric. Eric had a gentleman on from the Crawfish Boxes, and unfortunately, there were some technical difficulties, so we chose not to put the video up. We will put an audio with subtitle version up of Eric's episode. So you'll get two episodes today. It's a doubleheader. Eric did his earlier, and I'm doing mine right now. So yes, Stan, this is an ugly Christmas sweater. It's actually, you can't see it on the screen on YouTube, but you can if you're watching on TikTok. It is Santa and Rudolph doing the dab. Yes, I know 2012 called them with their dance back, but I digress. I got the Astros Christmas hat from 8-1 Shop. 8-1 always does great things with hats, and so I figured let's get in a festive mood, especially if we're going to talk about Mr. Framber Valdez, old Frams himself. And Joe put this up earlier. He said, I hate Manfred so much. We'll get to your boy Rob here in a second. And right here, Sonny says, you won't be able to sign all the players. I say get all you can out of Framber to ensure you re-sign Tucker and get top-notch prospects and an MLB-level piece. Hey, and that's what we're going to start talking about. So thank you for getting us started on the right foot. So let's look at this graphic. I don't know if we've thrown this up before on the show. If you're watching on TikTok, make sure you jump over to the YouTube channel. The top 10 teams on landing Framber Valdez, according to Bleacher Report walk-off. This is if he's traded, okay? Obviously, the Astros are on here, but Cubs are first. The Reds are second. The Giants third. The Phillies fourth. And I actually like those four choices. I would hate to see Framber on the Phillies. Actually, I would hate to see Framber in any other uniform. Let's just be clear. This is not me advocating for Framber being not being on this team or not being a part of the starting rotation. I love Framber Valdez. I hope he stays here long term. But I think that we've gotten the most out of him, and I may be wrong, and he may hear this and say, man, I've got so much more in me, and I hope he does, but I hope it's in an Astros uniform. Then the bottom six are Braves, Red Sox, Orioles, Blue Jays, Dodgers, and Yankees. Oh, that always makes me sick to say Yankees and an Astros player in a Yankees uniform. It just gives me the cringe, just makes me cringe, you know? Hey, what's up, Isaiah? How you doing, bud? Thanks for tuning in. Jacob, thanks for tuning in, guys. Appreciate y'all. Make sure I hit that like button. Let's get the 10,000 likes there on TikTok. So let me get back to my YouTube crowd, guys. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. So look, here's my position on Framber Valdez. Love Framber Valdez. I've seen him grow up. for the no-hitter this last year. I was at Game 6 World Series with my son to watch them clinch the Game 6 clincher to win their second World Series pennant. And he's been a big part. He's a big part of this pitching culture. He's a big part of the Latin culture. He is from the Dominican, and he has there's a camaraderie that this team has. And of course, all teams have camaraderie, but what the Astros have, I feel, is extra special. And Framber's a big part of that. His La Grasa, his whole, just his aura, just who he is. He is a serious guy. He's a competitor. He's a bulldog, but he's also he's everybody's friend. He gets along with everybody, and he's someone you hate to lose. But if you are going to trade him, you absolutely have to trade him to a contender who also has a complementary major league piece as well as prospects. You cannot give him away for only prospects. Someone made a good point online today when I was interacting with different people on Twitter, and they were like, why would no thank you if I'm trading Framber for unproven prospect talent? And that is a good point, because prospects haven't done anything. They are it's like hopes and dreams is what they've accomplished. And yes, a lot of times the top prospects end up performing, but there are those that don't. So I'm not for getting rid of Framber or trading him if it only returns me minor league talent. I need one or two major league pieces. I need one or two minor league pieces. I need a pretty big haul. Now, if you shift the conversation away from Framber, an easier person to take to trade would be Jose Urquidy. He's a strike thrower. He's the winningest international pitcher in World Series history with 3 wins. And he fills up that strike zone when he's in the groove. He's in the groove. He misses bats. So he would be a little easier to the palate to take of losing. Framber is just one of those guys that you would hate to see go. But if you're going to trade him, his value, I don't think, has never been higher. But here is my question to you about Framber Valdez. And if you watch this show or you watched anything in the past, you've heard me say this. My question to you is this: can we get more out of Framber than what we have already gotten? Will he perform at a higher level at any point in his career beyond what he has performed now? If he can, then you keep him. And look, Sonny says, who's to say you can't 3-team trade to get Cease and Robert Jr. from the White Sox prospects, Urquidy and Framber to the Cubs or Cincy? Look, also that a guy on Twitter, you may know him. His name is Larry the GM. He proposed a 3-way trade with the Orioles, the Rays, and the Astros. I can't remember if Framber was in that. I think he was. You could do a 3-team trade. A 3-team trade may be easier to pull off, but that is yet to be seen. And it sounds like the league is waiting to see what the Astros are going to do with Framber Valdez. Because if Framber Valdez gets traded, then a couple key pieces in the market that are being looked at for trades or whatever, that may solve a need that a team has to go get a free agent. Then those free agents now come available to everybody else. So that's what it's about. So Framber Valdez, I'm not saying I want you gone, sir. I love what you've done. I've loved your performance. I love on the field what you've done, off the field what you do for your hometown, for your church, back at home, building the sanctuary for them. But it's just one of those things where if you do trade him away, you've got to get major league talent back. You've got to do a trade kind of like the Rays just recently did, where you trade major league pitchers for major league pitchers and leave it at that. Or maybe you get a pitcher and an outfielder. Maybe you're not sure that one of your guys is going to stick this year, and so you do that. Maybe you package Framber with someone like a Jake Myers, but they seem to be very, very high on Jake Myers. So we're gonna hit on some other things too. I want to get to the rule changes next, and I actually created some graphics for y'all visually to see. So if you're watching or if you're listening the next day, which is Friday, the 22nd, and you're listening to this, go back to the YouTube episode and watch, and you can see these quotes. I don't know about you, but I'm a visual person. So we're going to talk about that in this next segment. All right, everybody, this episode is brought to you by FanDuel. FanDuel is the #1 sportsbook in America. As the weather gets colder, the NFL stays hot with FanDuel. That's right. Right now, new customers get $150 in bonus bets with any winning $5 moneyline bet. That's right, $150 if your team wins. If you're going the Texans, I'll show you the line here in a second. If you've been thinking about joining FanDuel, stop thinking, go put word to action. Get the app. It's easy to use. A wide range of betting options, spreads, player props, over-unders, and more. So let's look at this over-under sheet for the Texans and the Browns. The Texans are at plus 116. The Browns are at minus 136. That's the money line. And the over-under is at 42.5 points. So if you need to, and you need any more convincing, then you know what? I just tell you to go to FanDuel right now. It's easy to download, FanDuel.com/lockedon, and get the season rolling into the playoffs. FanDuel, the official sports partner of the NFL. All right, so let's set this up for the next segment. All right, y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in. I am Htown Wheelhouse, and make sure that you check out Locked On National Sports 24/7. This is the only streaming channel that you can watch on YouTube where it's all sports all the time. Local experts from Locked On from all over the different leagues. They are national shows covering every league, also national stories. Go to Locked On Sports today on YouTube. Subscribe for the first ever National Sports 24/7 streaming channel. Do that today. Now, we're going to get into these rules changes. And if you know me, or if you watch this show any other time, you know that I'm not a fan of Rob Manfred. You know that you're not a fan of Rob Manfred. It is something that is quite annoying, and it's quite frustrating. The type of I guess commissioner that we have, and I'm going to let some of the new rules scroll across the bottom of the screen before I show you this graphic. But I am so upset at these new rule changes, because when Major League Baseball implemented the rules from this last year, I say old rules now, it was to speed up the game. Well, because games were 5 or 7 minutes longer, they're going to try to reduce them by 5 or 7 more minutes, because, you know, it's those extra 5 minutes that you get home that really makes the difference in the next day, right? So old Robbie Manfred is trying to help the fans because we got to go to work the next day, right, folks? I mean, this is the biggest bunch of bull crap. Like kids say at school, I'm sorry, Rob, that's cap. Like, why you selling? I don't understand. Like, basically, the kids would tell me Rob Manfred is our ops, okay? He is the opposite of your friend. He is not even a friend of me. I'm sorry, Rob Manfred. You're the bad guy. You're not vigilante bad. Like, Batman became the bad guy in the Dark Knight series because he had to take that on, because the city had hope in Harvey Dent, right? Who became Two-Face. And for that city to have hope and believe in something, Batman had to turn into the villain. Well, Rob, you just became the villain because you're the villain, bro. You're our ops. Straight up, no cap, on God. All right. So I get that out of the way. All right. So here we go. Here are some of the rule changes that we are seeing. All right. Number one, the runner's lane. Now, I don't mind this rule. I actually like this rule. So, Rob, I'm not mad at you for this. It says the distance between the foul line and the infield grass is now required to be between 18 and 24 inches in all MLB baseball parks. So the new rule overrides one from 1882. What? Say what? 1882. I just got through talking about 1836 in the Texas Revolution in class. 1882. Wow, baseball, you got an old problem. All right. Which stated that players were required to remain within the 3-foot box on the foul line of the baseline while running the final stretch between home base and first base. So here's the deal. They widen it, and the lane is intended to be wider to allow batters a more direct path to first base. It aims to limit interference in gameplay. We've seen calls go against the Astros, go for the Astros, where interference has been called, where a runner's literally running to first base. The the catcher, I don't say idiot catcher, the catcher throws it, hits his shoulder, they call run interference. I'm like, he was running to the base. Would you expect him to duck and see behind him? And so the widening of the base paths, this rule does not bother me. I actually like this rule. Nothing wrong with it. Good rule. Okay. So I start off with something nice. Oh, if you want this cap, this was a drop from 8-1 Shop. I don't know if they have many more. It was a limited holiday drop, but reach out to them on Instagram. Let them know that Htown Wheelhouse from Locked On Astros sent you and see if they have any in stock. I don't know if they do. All right, the second rule change that we're going to talk about, which these rules get me upset. I mean, I don't know if I'm going to be able to stand wearing this sweater too long because I'm just hot under the collar thinking about it. Let me take a deep breath. Pitchers will only have 18 seconds to throw the next ball when runners are on base. You get a runner on base, the pitch clock goes from 20 seconds to 18 seconds. And the pitch clock will also restart after a dead ball, meaning a ball that is out of play, such as a foul ball, when the pitcher gets the ball, when previously the clock only began when the pitcher had reached the mound. So now when the pitcher gets the ball, the clock starts over. Visits to the pitcher's mound will be reduced from 5 to 4 per game, with an extra mound visit awarded in the 9th inning if the defensive team has 0 remaining at the end of the 8th inning. So hold on. So you're telling me that you are going to reduce the pitch clock, which players have said had a negative effect, and they believe scientifically that it's proven that the players were getting injuries because of having to rush to get the next pitch out. And not only that, you're making other changes. There's also one I couldn't put on the graphic because I didn't want to like image y'all to death. But now, if a pitcher gets up in the bullpen and warms up, he has to pitch to at least one batter that inning. What are we doing? He has to pitch to one. Okay, so a guy gets up and warms up. Let's say he gets up and warms up, and let's say the other team puts a guy in the box, in the on-deck circle that they think is a favorable guy. Well, what is the coach going to do? Get the other guy up. Now, because he's getting heated up, he's got to go out and pitch to at least one batter. See, now this is getting stupid. And they changed these freaking rules, and it pissed me off. They changed these rules. Something happened twice in the World Series. And so, like, we're going to change the rules. And so I'm done being nice to Rob. Rob, I gave you your flowers at the beginning. Now I'm going to lower the boom like the Texas Hammer, like Jim Adler, the tough, smart lawyer. You know, these rules are so flippin' stupid. And they literally state, and I'm sorry, I threw my notes on the floor because I'm so frustrated. They want to decrease the time 5 to 7 minutes. What? What is that? 5 to 7 minutes? Come on, Robbie. Like, what's next? You're going to have virtual games? Oh, don't give me any ideas because they'll probably do it. Is it going to be like you can just watch the game on an app? Oh, wait, you can't do that. Why? Because MLB is still blacked out. Oh, and have you heard of all the TV deals? It's pathetic. Baseball has got a viewership problem. Baseball has got a popularity problem. And someone goes, Manfred is the Antichrist. Now, I'm not going to go that far. I'm not that scorched earth on Rob Manfred, but holy Lord, this guy is wrecking the game of baseball. It should be a time of celebration. We've got someone like Ohtani getting $700 million in baseball. We got Yainer Diaz going to be an amazing catcher for the Astros. We got Yordan Alvarez probably going to win MVP. I mean, we got Garrett Cole is going to be going for a second straight Cy Young. We got so many great storylines in baseball, and this is the crap we're talking about. Well, we're going to keep rolling here in a second. What's up, y'all? We got Altuve. That's right. Yeah. All right. So we're back. All right. So those are the rule changes, and this is what the MLBPA thinks about the rule changes. I'm going to put this up here, and I'm going to read it to you. I'm pretty sure it's legible, but I'm going to read it, obviously, for those that are listening to audio. Thank y'all for listening. This afternoon, player representatives voted against the 2024 rule changes proposed by the commissioner's office. As they made clear in the competition committee, players strongly feel that following last season's profound changes to the fundamental rules of the game, immediate additional changes are unnecessary and offer no meaningful benefits to fans. None. Players or the competition on the field. Okay, so they lay it out. This is from Tony Clark, the head representative. So if y'all don't know this, he is the executive director of the Players Association. So he is the voice of the players, and he's telling them this. MLB, these will not change anything for fans. It will not benefit players or competition. This season should be used to gather additional data and fully examine the health, safety, and injury impacts of reduced recovery time. That is where our focus will be. So what are we doing? Like, you've got the head of the Players Association, Tony Clark, saying, bro, like, what's going on? I don't know if you know this, a competition committee does consist of 4 to 6 MLB players. Nobody in MLB, none of the players voted yes on this. Nobody went rogue. And this is where people say that the owners and the commissioner are disconnected from absolute reality. I mean, Rob Manfred's the equivalent of an Instagram girlfriend, like those DMs or those messages you get from the bots on TikTok and Twitter. Like, hi, I'm Sherry, and it's like the same woman on like 80 different accounts. Like, Rob Manfred is basically a bot, is what I'm saying. He's basically he's the most basic. He doesn't understand. He's got teams that have failing TV deals. He's got teams who aren't making as much money as they should. He's allowing teams to defer $648 million for 10 years on a 20-year contract and calling it a 10-year contract. He's not helping the smaller market teams. He's not helping create something in Oakland where they can move the stadium to a better place rather than where it is in Oakland, Alameda County Stadium, moving it to a better part of town, but shipping them to Vegas. When Vegas, I mean, there's no guarantee like what kind of stadium, what kind of revenue they're going to have. It's just, baseball's a mess. Baseball is a mess. Lenny's trying to bring me down to earth. He said Framber needs to be traded. Bregman also. That's not helping me, Darren. And then Lenny says Framber to the D-backs or stays with the Astros. Look, I'll get back on Framber here in a second, but I'll say this. The rule changes, they suck. They are terrible. They're awful. So let's get on a more happy note. Because it's the holidays, folks, right? I'm wearing a freaking ugly sweater. I want to say another word, but it's an ugly sweater, right? All right, no cap. All right, here we go. So here are MLB's sleeper picks in 2024, and I'll read these out again for those of y'all listening on audio. Bobby Witt Jr., shortstop. Royce Lewis, third base. Jung-Ho Lee, outfield. Spencer Steer. Evan Carter. Nolan Jones. Yainer Diaz. Boom! Yainer Diaz right there. Houston Astros. Paul Skeens. George Kirby. And Shota Imanaga. Okay, which he's a free agent. I don't know where he's going to play. But you hear that? Yainer freaking Diaz. The starting catcher for the Houston Astros in 2024. That kid is going to go atomic on y'all. He is going to hit this league by storm. He's going to throw runners out. He's going to call a hell of a game every game. He's going to be the best battery mate that's out there in the Astros organization. He's going to hit bombs this year. He's going to go 25-plus home runs. He's going to get near 100 RBI. I mean, Yainer Diaz is going to be – he is him, y'all. He is him, and this offense is better. Is this offense better in 2024? 100% yes. Yes, they are better. They're better. They have fewer weaknesses. If the guys last year that struggled don't struggle, boom. You have Altuve a whole season. You have Jordan a whole season. You have an outfield that has guys like Chas McCormick and Mauricio Dubon. You have, if Jake Myers does anything more than what he's done, that's a bonus. And even though I'm not sold on Jake over Chaz, if he's in there and starting, you better be cheering for him. Okay? You better be cheering for whoever's on the field, whether you like the lineup or not, cheer for them. Kyle Tucker, and maybe the last time he's in an Astros uniform, probably going to have a banger year. Bregman, probably last year as an Astro, probably going to have a banger year. Jeremy Pena slumped big time last year. Yeah, he hit the ball, but his power didn't hit a home run from July 5th. I don't think he's hit a home run since July 5th. He's got a lot to prove this year after his sophomore slump. Jose Altuve, again, he'll be healthy. Jose Abreu, I don't anticipate the mega slow start like last year. I mean, guys are healthy. Guys are coming back. This team is going to be a contender. This team I'm already calling as the AL West division winner over the Rangers. I think they get back to their 8th straight ALCS. And I think getting to the World Series is actually easier this year than it was last year. Yes, Jeremy Pena is working out with Bregman. But, bro, Framber's been working out. He's been putting out more workout videos. Yainer Diaz putting out workout videos. And we've got some exclusives. We got some really cool things. We're having to move dates around, push dates around, but we should be getting some exclusive interviews with Ronel Blanco and Yainer Diaz. And we are working on getting those both in-person interviews. So looking forward to that stuff getting set up. Oh, and to kind of wrap things up, look, this year we're going to be doing some different things. I'm going to add in, we're going to do some extra shows. Okay. We're going to do an extra show each week, at least once a week, 15 to 20 minutes tops. And it's going to feature either a minor league player or a minor league team. And if it's a player, we may start out with the top 10 prospects. Obviously, if someone gets called up, we'll adjust that list. And then after that, we'll talk about the different clubs. And we're going to look at getting back to spring training. We're going to look at traveling. I'm going to look at traveling down to Corpus. So we're going to be doing some things. All-Star Game is in Arlington this year. I've got some ideas going through my head. If you guys are in the Arlington, Dallas-Fort Worth area, we're going to be talking to Bryce at Locked On Rangers. We're going to be talking to Lindsay of Locked On MLB Prospects, who was just on with me recently, trying to get 3 or 4 hosts from Locked On do a real big live show. Heck, maybe we can work out something with Texas Live. There's a lot of stuff coming here in 2024. And so we are definitely, look, as hard as our guys are working that are Astros, you can know the Htown Wheelhouse is working just as hard for you guys at Locked On Astros. So we're going to do what we can. We're going to do our part. But look, I've got to wrap it up here. This has been a great show. Will Bite said, I'm already sick of the new rules. Oh, my God. When I was putting this stuff together for y'all and I was reading it, I was getting mad just reading it before I got on the show. And, whew, man, look, you know why it upsets us? Because we love this game so much. We love this game so much. This is a great game. There's no better game than baseball. And I'm having so look, I do a new show called the Htown Wheelhouse Show with Athletically Declined Sports, and we're having a conversation. What is king, football or baseball? And I may put a poll out there on YouTube, and I need y'all to vote honestly, but I need you to vote baseball if you get my drift. So anyways, guys, thank y'all so much for hanging out. And you know what? I want to wish y'all a Merry Christmas. I want to wish y'all a Happy New Year. We'll talk to y'all before the new year, but whatever you do over the holiday, however you celebrate it, may you be blessed. May you focus on the things that you have and enjoy those that are around you and realize that life is definitely a blessing, because and if you're watching this show, that means things are going okay for you. All right, y'all have a good one. I'm Htown Wheelhouse. I love you guys. Y'all are the real MVPs. We do this because you guys rock the house that rocks the party. So thank y'all so much for tuning in to Locked On Astros. Eric will be back with me next week. We'll be the dynamic duo once again. And thank y'all for hanging out. And as always, like we say, bury me in the H. Go Astros.